world title in everyone's imagination. That's the heavyweight champ. You were here. Everyone else was here. But since then, the feeling has been Joshua makes all this money fighting anyway, 30 million pounds, whatever it is. Why should he take 40 or 50 to fight Wilder when he's making against anybody? He can make 30, 40 million pounds, whatever it is.
No fantasy contracts, just reality. You know, bringing our worth to the table and bargaining and negotiating what we're worth and making this fight happen.
Mentality do you come in with? I ask because when you were slick, to me that looked like a better fighter. But maybe this is the kind of fight where you just need to impose your strength.
One is a heavyweight legend. One is a YouTube superstar. But only one survives December 19th, Anthony. Joshua's calm confidence stood out the moment he sat down with Max Kellerman to discuss his upcoming showdown with Jake Paul, a match that has shaken both traditional boxing fans and the new generation watching the sport. Kellerman didn't waste any time. He asked the same question the entire world has been debating. Why is a former heavyweight champion fighting a YouTuber?
Or a heavyweight champion, you're an undefeated Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist, you're entering your physical prime, and you put 100,000 people in Wembley. So I get your argument. I have the economic clout. He's not coming in as partners. I should get a bigger slice of the pie. Let's have a realistic negotiation.
Joshua answered with surprising clarity. He said the thing he respects most about Jake Paul is that he brings new eyes to boxing. Despite having no amateur background, Jake keeps throwing himself into deep waters and willingly puts pressure on his own shoulders. Joshua believes that kind of enthusiasm helps the sport grow beyond its usual audience.
I like that. You're not going to outbox him. If you're waiting on him and he's initiating and he's feinting you into counters and then he's counting.
But the size difference between them is impossible to ignore. When Jake Paul stands next to Anthony Joshua, it looks like a true David versus Goliath moment. Joshua's natural heavyweight build, years of experience, and physical presence simply create a completely different picture one Jake has never faced before.
Does he remind you of any guy that you fought before? Or is this a unique situation that you've never come across?
Very unique situation I've never come across, but treating with the same respect that I give all my competition.
So you got the mental fortitude, he's got the mental fortitude. But what's the one best thing that you pride Jake Paul of having that maybe you haven't seen in other competition you faced so far?
From a physical aspect, I couldn't even mention it at the minute. But from a mental aspect, he offered me to fight. Normally, I'm offering people fights. He's told me, come and fight. So he believes in himself.
What does the word legacy mean to you, AJ?
Legacy, what does it mean? This is why I was actually asking someone, what does legacy mean? I don't even...
Nikiza Bidarian, CEO of Most Valuable Promotions, revealed that December 19th is being promoted as a massive global event. He admitted Joshua has far more experience, but also warned that Jake Paul's unshakable confidence can make the fight unpredictable. The original plan was to schedule this fight for 2026, but Jake pushed hard to make it happen now.
Jake Paul versus AJ, as though Jake Paul is the bigger in this equation. Not for me. Maybe for MVP, Nikisa, Jake Paul, but not for me. I've kind of marked it or titled it David versus Goliath just because of the size difference. Like, Jake Paul's a big guy. He is. He's 6'1", 220, probably fights around, the 200-pound mark. AJ is an enormous guy. Like, he's a big, big unit. I think Jake realized that when they came face to face. I don't know if that's the first time they've ever come that close. I'm sure they've met behind the scenes, but I think there was a realization from Jake Paul, like, fuck, this is a big dude. It's a very, very big dude who isn't coming to play. Like, there was no play with AJ. That was a press conference that almost sounded like AJ versus someone in the top 10, where AJ's taking it seriously. He's answering the questions direct that Ariel's throwing him. There was no, yeah, we're here to kind of fuck around. This is gonna be easy. Give me my money. Let me run back to the UK. This was AJ's like, no, we're taking this seriously. And that ain't a good thing for Jake Paul. It isn't. And AJ's that guy anyway. Like, I would never doubt that AJ would take this seriously. But for Jake Paul, I do wonder if realization is kicking in, or maybe he is just that delusional where he doesn't care. I do, and I've been sort of corrected by a few people who maybe know better, but I do think the Americans don't credit or rate AJ. I do think there's a bit of that. I remember when AJ did the rounds prior to the Ruiz fight, and there were a few.
Alexander Usyk gave the most brutal comparison, calling Joshua a Rolls Royce and Jake Paul a Fiat, not out of disrespect, but to highlight the huge gap in experience, fundamentals, and physical readiness. Still, he reminded fans that in boxing,
Joshua?
So there's a lot of discussion around the weight. Joshua fought Usyk twice. Both of those times, Usyk was 221 pounds. Joshua was 240 to 245. When Jake fought Mike Tyson last year, 227 pounds. I expect Jake will come in anywhere between 225 and 230, and Anthony Joshua has a weight limit of 245 pounds.
There will be those, as you're aware, that will look at it and criticise this fight. There already have been, haven't there? They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou, who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony?
Anything can happen on fight night. Olympic boxer Tony Jeffries added another angle. According to him, Jake Paul has every resource a fighter could dream of: elite coaches, top nutritionists, world-class conditioning teams, and high-level sparring. And most importantly,
Joshua's Olympic champion. First. Jake Paul, it's sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat. Listen, it's true. I'm not
Oh my god. I'm have nothing better in mind.
Yeah. It's just true. It's business, more money. Only this.
So we need to pray for Jake Paul.
Yes. I will pray Jake Paul because I want to fight with Jake Paul in Octagon.
Yeah.
Do you think that Joshua should be fighting Tyson Fury next year?
I want this fight. Yeah, I fan.
Do you think this guy fight this guy? No way! To get his ass kicked. So they're telling what they're telling you about themselves. They're letting you know that they would not take a fight that they didn't know that they were going to win. When the person says, mark my words, Jake Paul will pull out of this fight, he might even do it the day of. Pull out of the fight to who? It's his fight. Who is this mystery person? Did you write? Because I know this is a big category. I just read one guy that said this. But I'm talking to a lot of you, aren't I? A lot of you believe that Jake Paul is going to pull out of that fight. Might even do it the day of, correct? Okay. Who would he pull out to? He is the promoter. Who would he call? Does he send an email to himself? Does he send a text message to himself? Does he schedule a meeting, come in and sit down, cross the table and look in the eye himself? Like, it's the part that is the most fascinating about the whole thing is that Jake would be the one to be the skunk at the garden party.
Jake has youth on his side. Younger fighters recover faster, push harder, and enter the ring with fresher energy. This fight isn't just a crossover event. It's experience versus ambition, heavyweight power versus rising star confidence, and old school boxing versus new era influence. Like, subscribe, and drop your prediction below. AJ or Jake?